on a Saturday night, peering your eyes over only to see this on your TV.
I hated this one, I'm telling you, bro. This one was always... I used to just turn off the TV.
Now, how exactly did we go from this to...
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This one is called The Network That Traumatized Us All at 4 a.m. Obviously talking about Adult Swim by the thumbnail. So let's get into it. I watched a couple of his videos, they good. So let's get into it. But I'm just warning y'all today, I got dry eyes, bro. And I got a bad headache. So after I record this, I'm probably gonna take a nap and just drink water. And y'all probably get this like tonight, later on. But let's get into it.
Do you remember this happening? It's the middle of the night. You've just awoken from your sleep, whether it be because of a bad dream or something else entirely. You squint as you try to wipe away all the crustiness from your eyes as you start to make out something faintly playing in the distance on your TV.
Bro, I hate it. I hate it, bro. I hated that
some
bumper,
of the strangest media you've ever witnessed. Many of us reacted differently to this, and I'm sure, as you can guess from the guy scared of these SpongeBob end credits, I was stun-locked whenever these would play. I'd lie in bed hoping for the TV to change just so I could peacefully drift back to sleep. Others did the smart thing and would forego these options altogether to enjoy some of the most iconic pieces of media ever to be created.
Adult Swim was one of those things that you just watched on accident or on purpose. Because I used to just think Cartoon Network was
and these
a 24-hour
bumpers brought
thing.
to you by one of the greatest TV networks of all time, Adult Swim, became a regular occurrence for many viewers of Cartoon Network. There was something almost surreal when these would play. It felt as though the world stopped spinning and it was just you and the TV left in existence. And although that might be a bit much for some of us who've never experienced this, many of us do share that same experience with this network. In fact, this experience is so relatable that many people have made entire videos out of this one topic. Kind of like I'm doing right now. But for those of you that are somehow out of the loop on this and have never experienced it for yourself, here's what you can expect from an Adult Swim bumper. And just to set the mood right, let's close our door, shut the lights off.
If you never watched Adult Swim, you was a Nick at Night person.
On a Saturday night, peering your eyes over only to see this on your TV.
I hated this one, I'm telling you, bro. This one was always... I used to just turn off the TV.
Now, how exactly did we go from this to this? The origin of Adult Swim bumpers that would go on to traumatize us started with Cartoon Network. More specifically, an old, forgotten superhero, Space Ghost, who would come to reprise his role in Space Ghost Coast to Coast, better known as Adult Swim's first ever show. And it completely embodied what would be the foundation for the network. Its humor was crude, its skits were often cringe, and it just wasn't polished. And most of this was due to external factors outside of their scope. We had the very, very low budget for the show, which led to lower quality animation. But the main point to grasp here was that it wasn't trying to be mainstream. It was just weird. And its spike in popularity told Cartoon Network one very important thing. Weird works. So they leaned into it and they created the first piece of media that would change not just the network, but the lives of millions of children tuning into Cartoon Network late at night.
Adult Swim.
What you're watching is, to my knowledge, the first ever bumper created with the Adult Swim tag.
I know I keep pausing it sometimes, but I don't think like Adult Swim was like scary, because like the shows, I'm not gonna lie, the Robot Chicken intro when I was little used to scare me, but I don't think it was necessarily the shows that were scary. Like he's talking about right now, I think it was just the bumpers, because they was just weird. Like Let me get back into the video.
You might notice
I
it
don't
looks
want
a
to hear me
bit
talk.
different than what we have today. Originally, Adult Swim was supposed to be a play on the literal Adult Swim time, right? When the block first launched in 2001, their bumpers were literally just footage of old people swimming in the pool. There was no characters, no cartoons, just grainy shots of senior citizens paddling around while a narrator exclaimed, "All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim." It was cheap, it was weird, and most of all, it worked. The metaphor was perfect. The kids' block that you were just watching was finished, and it was finally time for the adults to take over the TV. The first few bumpers that were created following this were nothing too special. And in fact, it wouldn't be until I think 2 years after the initial first bumper that we would get the iconic white text on black background. And even at that point, it still wasn't super weird just yet. But the bumpers were evolving at a fast rate. And even the ones that were in the early days, they still had that surreal feeling and somehow communicated everything that we needed to know about tuning into Adult Swim. This is where you went to see the rules bent, where the content would be edgier and reality and time itself seemed to stop, if not just for a moment. And that atmosphere was set in place.
Go to bed. I remember that
foundation
bumper
laid down by these old bumpers. In a way, these first few iterations walked so that the uncanny, eerie ones could run.
Yeah, they were just weird.
And as the block grew, those strange pull bumpers evolved into something else entirely. Something iconic. And it's here that we entered what I like to call the primetime era of Adult Swim bumpers, right? You know the ones. Right? The ones where you're lying half asleep at 3 a.m. and suddenly you would hear an alarm blaring or a deranged ghost coughing up blood.
Bro, I remember all these, but look, I want y'all to find a bumper for me. It was if you watch this and you can find it, it was like a baby crying. And then it was like a drill, and it was just loud noises. That one scared me. I don't know what it's called, obviously, because I've seen this a couple years ago. This was a minute ago. I was still 9, 8 years old when it happened. It was it's a baby crying, it's a drill going, and it's something else. And I remember it just scared me because the TV was just loud and the whole house was just quiet. But yeah, if y'all can find that, let me know.
Or just some extremely uncanny home video footage that, under the right conditions, could send chills straight down your spine. Right? These weren't just bumpers anymore. Right? They were almost like small psychological experiments, like liminal spaces born from the need to inject something so weird and grotesque that it would make you stop and question what you were even doing here on this planet. And
you doing the Cartoon Network thing.
Looks like I've ran out of time on this segment, but don't worry, we're not cutting to commercial just yet or ending the video. I mean, we haven't even talked about the greatest bumpers yet, and as you can see from the timeline, we have plenty of time. I'm just doing that thing that all networks would do, where the screen gets all tiny and they tell you what's coming next, like it's a big deal. So after the break, we're diving into peak Adult Swim, right? The golden era. The bumpers that didn't just weird us out, but made us feel something. I'll be right back. Depending on which thumbnail that YouTube decides is the best, you might have already seen this on the thumbnail. And it's for good reason. It was the one that I remember most
I don't remember this
as a kid. You can just imagine the confusion
I don't
and
remember
horror
the wake up one.
of waking up in the middle of the night to bright white text screaming at you to wake up with a realistic monkey animatronic trying to break out of the TV screen. You can even hear its moaning and groaning as it moves its head around. It's utterly terrifying, and this opinion seems to be quite popular, judging from those who have gone back to watch it nowadays. The one thing that I don't hear often when talking about Adult Swim bumpers was just how loud they made the silence of an empty room. When these
I remember seeing this one in 2018 a lot.
Realize
the bubbles and stuff growing.
You were.
Yeah.
It was like those moments when you're home alone and you turn the TV off to go to bed, only to come face to face with the realization that there is literally no one there, right? The quiet becomes an entity in and of itself, and this is one of the things that made Adult Swim bumpers what they were. Right? They were raw, minimal, existential, all wrapped up into some of the most unpredictable and shocking visuals known to any TV
Squid Billies. What y'all know about Squid Billies?
For its time. Speaking of time, it's important that we, at the very least, touch upon the most defining part of all of this, which is the why. Right? Why did this scare us so much? Because, yes, we all know that Adult Swim created these bumpers as a way to have children change the channel out of their own volition, but there was something deeper that I feel like many people breeze right past. And it's a quality that is a combination of everything that we've talked about thus far. Right? The way these were shown to us, how they sounded, the time that we saw them, and most importantly, what they didn't say. The absence of words or a coherent thought made the safe little cocoon that was our home feel wrong. There's something so uniquely unsettling about hearing adult language in a space that you're comfortable in. And what was even more off-putting wasn't just straight up hearing it, because honestly, I got enough of that growing up, hearing my parents fight all the time, right? What was so different about Adult Swim was that they communicated this adult language through tone. Instead of straight up profanity, they would say things like, "You should be asleep," or
"Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go to bed." Or it was another one
to the parents that were in the room with you.
It was another one that said something about.
It was a direct message spoken in a cold, matter-of-fact tone. Right? These bumpers were meant for someone that was awake when they shouldn't be. Adult Swim bumpers didn't just imply that you were watching something not made for you. They straight up told you that some of these would outright address you directly, breaking the fourth wall with this uncomfortable confidence, right? Not in a goofy cartoon character way, but in a chilling whisper in your ear kind of way, right? The screen would go black, white text would appear, and the tone would never be playful. It was clinical and sometimes cryptic. The network wasn't just a thing on the TV that played shows. It was an entity that knew you were watching. And it broke a rule that TV rarely ever touches, especially at the time, which was the one where it's supposed to ignore you. It's supposed to ignore that you exist. You just watch it. And for a kid, this created this sort of dissonance that never truly went away. And I think it's something that a lot of us look back on fondly, because although these were the moments where I would crawl deeper into the blanket fortress that I built myself,
I would just turn the TV off. I hit the red button, but I'm sleeping in the dark.
From my childhood, right? Growing up in a broken home, it was always loud with arguments, police, or physical commotion, causing me to feel uneasy at most times.
Yo, bro, I'm sorry that happened to you again. If you watch,
that I got a taste of what it was.
Hold on, to the guy that made this video. If you're watching this, you just explain what happened in your household. I'm sorry for that. I hope you're doing good. I love your content. I watched many of your videos. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay strong, man.
Like to truly be alone. And yeah, while I'd rather not spend my alone time with a freakish animatronic on screen, it still forced me to be present in the moment and almost appreciate the fact that I could choose to stay up and watch what I wasn't supposed to. Or I could go to sleep like a good little boy. And to
always
me,
chose go to sleep.
That is what made Adult Swim bumpers so unforgettable. It truly was the network that defined an entire generation of late night TV weirdness. And honestly, the only reason I made this video was because I thought that this was just one of the coolest things that I look back on when I look at my childhood. Like, I think about Adult Swim bumpers all the time and how they shaped us. And hopefully after watching this, you at home will take the time to go look back at some of the bumpers from the network that traumatized us all at 4 a.m.
You can't lie. The Adult Swim music aesthetic is, bro, because they just be having these beats like the network that traumatized us at 4 a.m.
You made it here, then you made it to the end of today's video. Yeah, I just wanted to have a good time.
Great video
with Adult Swim, and it's one of those things that I feel like shaped a lot of us, and it's cool. It was really cool to experience it growing up, and
scary too.
Yeah, I feel like I was lucky enough to be at the right age to kind of go through all of the motions with all my peers too. Like, I remember watching some of that stuff and then going to school and talking about it, and then even talking about like some of the shows that I would watch late at night too. Making this video brought back like a lot of like old memories that I had just from my childhood that I love. This is fun, and I hope these videos are that kind of nostalgia trip for you guys as well, because that's why I make them.
Definitely was.
It's fun to look back on stuff that
I haven't talked about Adult Swim in a minute, so thank you.
Made us who we are today. So if that describes you, feel free to tell me your experience with the network below, and yeah, make someone else's day. They'll read it, or I'll read it, and yeah. With all that said, let's get to the patron shout out, dude. I cannot believe that people are still on the Patreon. You guys are all amazing. The people that are there, just, camera cut off. Yeah, the people that are there on the Patreon are really just there to support me. And for those that have stayed for like the last 2 years, like, you guys are crazy amazing. Like, I can't believe it. Every time I check Patreon, I'm always like, oh, it's probably gonna be like, X amount this month, and it's been steady for like the last like year and a half, and yeah. So if you're on there, thank you a lot. I do check it pretty often, and yeah, I post uncensored stuff there when I can. It's really there to be like a dumping spot for if I ever get like copyrighted or something. Like, I've gotten copyrighted for like the video on Jack Stauber specifically. Like, a lot of those videos got copyrighted, but they are on there if you want to watch them. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Like, the certain media series usually doesn't get hit, but whenever it does, I do upload the full thing there. I think the last one I uploaded, it got like 1 or 2 segments taken out of it, so I had to upload it there instead. And yeah, so check it out if you want. If you think I make some good stuff and you want to support me, links below. If you want to buy some cool merch that I was lucky enough to help design.
Hey, y'all go support him. His channel in the description. The original video in the channel in the description.
You're on
for
screen.
Him.
You guys are.
Go support him. Go get on the Patreon. Go all that.
Thank you so much.
Because he made good videos.
And with all that said, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, go support him. Go support all his stuff. And make sure you subscribe to my channel too. That red button below. Go subscribe to his. All the original video, his channel will be in the description. W video. I haven't thought about Adult Swim in a minute. I'm gonna keep this short, but I haven't thought about Adult Swim in a minute. So it was definitely cool to go look back. And like I said, if y'all can find the one where the baby was crying and the drill and something else, I forgot was always in the bumper. But if y'all can find it, let me know. I'm gonna try to find it and put it in this video. But I'm out. It's been supers. Peace.